Well, hello, welcome back, my body language buddies. My name is Jesus Enrique Rosas. I'm the body language guy, and welcome to my show again. This episode 22. We'll be talking about the deportations coming in the United States, courtesy of Donald J. Trump, and also Big Pharma is in trouble, and we are about to see what is the link between Big Pharma and the media, and how the leftist media, the ones who call Trump a Nazi, are bending the knee right now. But let's jump right in. Let's go to it. Let's get down to it. And well, I have to start with this news because I just need to mention them, not to be a pessimist or anything. Biden just authorized Ukraine to use long-range missiles against Russia, against Russian soil. Is this because he wasn't invited to the UFC? This is a bit concerning just because Putin said back in September that literally if NATO authorized, in this case the United States, authorized use of long-range missiles on Russian soil, that would be a formal declaration of war. So, not to scare anybody, but that is the current state of things. Let's hope they don't escalate things. Putin also knows that this could be just some kind of maybe a bluff. It could be, bluff would be the word, because maybe that's why they say, Putin is going to retaliate. We need to send more money there. I would still like to know what you think about this, but I think that nothing's going to happen. We are going to be okay. So just to cheer things up, we need to start with this picture. That UFC 309 was this weekend, where this match between two men punching each other. But we got the trip of the whole bunch on Trump Force. This is Trump Force 1. I don't remember which plane is this, but there was Elon Musk, Donald Trump Jr., Robert F. Kennedy Jr., and Mike Johnson. And everybody noticed that for a very luxurious trip and a very nice and costly trip, well, the food was all right. It was McDonald's. You even had, it's like an ad. This was like an ad. You only needed the fine print and all the stuff, and of course, you know why we are taking a look at this picture, right? It's Trump Force 1. Thank you, John Cartier. You know why we are looking at this picture? Because we needed to see Bobby Kennedy Jr.'s reaction, in which, oh my God, I saw, I think Gina Carano shared a meme about this. This is when the gang, the mafia, forces you to do drugs, so they are sure that you are not an undercover cop. I think that he had to eat the McDonald's. I don't think that RFK Jr. has a problem with McDonald's per se. I'm sure that every now and then it's going to be okay. But, his face is less than thrilled of doing it, especially because of all the things that he has said about all this food, especially, the cooking in seed oils. The cooking in seed oils, there was no shortage of memes. Remember that? Hide the pain, Harold, that classic meme of that guy has a less than ideal smile, was fitting perfectly in here. It was so amusing to watch. But I'm sure that he did fine with his Big Mac. I don't know which hamburger he was eating, but how can he be holding up that French fry container in front of Bobby? I don't know. It was so fun. It was so fun. But something that is not that fun is the fact that we are finding out some numbers. You remember that we reported that Oprah did not receive one dime from Kamala Harris' campaign. Oprah was denying that she had received any money, but then we found out that it was 1 million that went to Harpo Productions, it was Oprah's production company, just to get the set straight, the lighting, the cameras, all the crew, production stuff, the editing, the seats where they were sitting. But it's not $1 million and not $1.5 million. We found out that it was actually $2.5 million for that event. And I would like to understand what kind of I don't know, what kind of accountant goes with this kind of shows, or how do they manage to spend so much money? I know that these people have all the money in the world, but I find a bit grotesque the kind of money that we are talking about here, because a more guerrilla approach, like I'm sure that Harpo Productions must have some other way to do something. Maybe they had to pay the people who attended that fake town hall. I don't know, but after the fact, there's so many things that we need that we will be uncovering. That this is just the upper part. We're gonna be finding out a lot more things. And we have this picture shared by Nick Dixon. This photo captures the essence of Keir Starmer, soulless, joyless, grimly executing some gray and evil task. There are a couple things that I want to say about Keir Starmer, but I don't know if I can actually say them. And there are a couple of things I want to say about the trans agenda of the left. And today I'm going to test something that I've been thinking about. You know what, I love my audience on YouTube, and I try to be as as edgy as I can on YouTube. But I had some issues with some topics on YouTube, so maybe I could cover some, the family-friendly stuff, the light to medium heavy stuff on YouTube. And maybe near the end of this live stream, we can do something. I have a link in the description of this video on YouTube where you can find a link to my Rumble account. There are things that I definitely cannot say on YouTube that I would say at the end of this live stream, maybe in the last 10 minutes, but I could only say them on Rumble. So you have been warned. We're going to have a full hour of all the topics, but a couple of things I prefer to just go, let's say, off the records and continue the live stream. The live stream is running right now in Rumble, by the way. If you're watching on Rumble, you don't have to do anything. You will just have access to everything. We are live through YouTube, X, and Rumble. But those delicate topics, including, but not limited to, some very damning allegations about Keir Starmer, I will be saying, I will be sharing with you right there. So, we need to start. Let me see, where are my lower thirds? Let's see, drink some water first, because there's going to be a lot to talk about here. And I need my headphones as well. Oh, right. We need to address that the deportations are coming. And it is not only in the United States, but the ripple of the United States elections, Donald Trump saying that he's going to go with mass deportations, and he naming Tom Homan the one who is going to be in charge. And Tom Homan is more than excited to do the job. It is something that is having this effect all over the world. We're going to be checking all over that. But first of all, we need to kind of confirm that this is on the way. And we have some reports. Reports are incoming. Donald Trump administration prepared to declare a national emergency and will use military assets to reverse the Biden invasion through a mass deportation program. And real Donald Trump on Truth Social, remember that Truth Social is the main account of Donald Trump, is the main platform. He's now tweeting on X as well. He says that it is true. This is going to be a national emergency, and he's going to get the military assets involved. I'm pretty sure that it's going to be planes to fly people, away from the United States. This is going to be huge in some other ways, but there are no shortage of obstacles. We have to remember that sanctuary cities, for example, cities like New York. I want to make more content about New York. By the way, I will be making maybe one section about New York dedicated in this shows. But right here, we know things like this. This is how far we have gone. A pair of migrants responsible for attacking cops after they were caught trespassing and urinating in a New York subway have been released from custody just a week after they resisted arrest. One of the suspects was carrying an AR-15 firearm in his backpack, a rifle. I understand that it is quite difficult to get a permit for a handgun in New York City. I guess that it is going to be next to impossible to carry an AR-15 with you. And then they attacked the cops. They resisted arrest. They were carrying an assault weapon. That is called an assault weapon, right? Okay. And they were released 1 week after the fact. Why do you think they are released after the fact? Because these judges, I'm going to go and say this, these judges not only want to, the usual virtue signaling posture. Oh, I want to virtue signal and I'm giving these people a chance. We should not be retaining them and all this stuff. We're going to release them into the streets, I hope, without the AR-15. But at the same time, is to make sure that they keep the streets chaotic. I'm still going to give Eric Adams some kind of opportunity here because he recorded this video regarding those deportations. He was asked a question regarding those deportations.
Okay, a couple of things. Do you think every New Yorker believes there should not or should be mass deportation?
I don't think, for the record, I don't think that every New Yorker believes that. No, some of them should be against and some of them could be pro. That is understandable. But my hunch is that at least 60%, which I have no way of confirming this is absolutely made up by myself, by my impression, 60% of New Yorkers want the deportations to take place. Just my 2 cents.
Do you believe every New Yorker believes that?
No, but you have said you don't think there should be.
Yeah, but you said, how can I advocate for New Yorkers? So I should only advocate for one type of New Yorker or all New Yorkers?
That is a bit of he's trying to play with words, like saying, okay, I cannot have a stance about deportation, but I should be with all New Yorkers. Yeah, but the decision is yours, made. New Yorkers elected you. You're the one who has the call.
Well, that's tough. I don't think you can advocate for all New Yorkers.
Oh, really? Okay, so which New Yorker I shouldn't advocate for? The ones that agree with you or disagree with you?
Well, if you believe there should be no mass deportations, how can people believe that you will advocate for that with the incoming Trump administration?
Yeah, but you set up a question. This is very interesting, the question you set up. So there's certain New Yorkers I shouldn't advocate for?
Okay, in this case, you see that Eric Adams is trying to play with words. He hasn't said no to deportations. That is something. That is something. He hasn't said, we will be against the Trump administration. He knows that he cannot go against the Trump administration. He is not that stupid.
I'm not sure that was my question. My question was, why should New Yorkers trust that you will advocate for them with the administration?
Let's go back again. There's some New Yorkers, there are people who stop me on the street and says, I voted for the president.
Yeah, they voted for the president because they don't want the crime that comes with the unfettered illegal immigration. Unfettered, that is like I'm not speaking like that well, but you don't understand. The illegal immigration, okay? And I'm not saying either that every illegal immigration is a criminal in the sense that they are carrying assault weapons everywhere. But we already know that just by the fact that they enter the United States not through the port of entry, well, that is a problem already. But we also have this thing, and this is the concerning part, from Wall Street apes. This is the thing that concerns me. Here we go. Get ready for chaos. Remember that word? I use it a lot when I talk about illegal immigration. Single migrants to be kicked out of closing shelters and dumped on the streets. Chicago, the largest immigrant shelter, is closing. The largest immigrant shelter is closing. More shelters also closing. And only illegal migrant families are being relocated to remaining shelters. All those single illegal migrants in Chicago are going to be released on the streets. So you tell me if that is a good idea. You tell me if it's a good idea. I'm going to play this at twice the speed.
The largest immigrant shelter is closing this Friday. I was there last week, and some residents say that they still have nowhere to go, especially since the new system only considers people who have been in Chicago only for 30 days. Any other plans for them? Any considerations?
Definitely there's considerations. More than just considerations, we're actually doing it. I want to have our Deputy Mayor Beatrice Ponce
Raise the volume.
de Leon speak to that.
Thank you, Mayor. Everyone who's in the shelters right now that are closing, the families are being placed in other shelters, regardless of how long they've lived in the city or in the country. So those families should have another shelter option for families. This isn't the case for singles, and we talked about that before, that there will not be enough for all singles, but we are working with them to give them other resources. And the limit to people the limit on eligibility is for first-time shelter placements. So if you come to Chicago for the first time and you're a new arrival, you want a shelter placement, at this time we're only serving people who've been in the country 30 days or less. Okay,
this is something complicated. You can tell me, okay, Jesus, but what do you stand for? I don't understand you, Jesus. You're saying that okay, they should maybe it would be a way to force them to self-deport themselves. Maybe there's a way. There are reports that some Haitian immigrants, illegal, or they're not illegal, sorry. Haitians in Ohio are leaving the state for other states because they know what's coming. And this, closing the faucet is something that is expected to be happening at some point. But what I see is that if you release, say, migrants on the streets, and if all these cities that have, there's shelters of migrants, and you release the singles on the streets, there's going to be, can't you, I don't know, maybe begin helping with the deportation process? It's like, because if they are on the streets, my guess is that they're going to be harder to, round up for deportation when Trump takes office. It's like, okay, I'm going to give you, it's like I'm going to count to 10 and just disappear from here, so you are not in the registry or something, and well, you do you. And I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that might have a bad impact on criminality. But, chaos is what they are looking for. And they want to be as disorganized, and they want to be as, well, have a start in everything by the moment Trump takes office, because that is a way of sabotaging him. But I would like to know what you think about this in the comments. By the way, remember to download my 100 body language tips in the description of this video, and you will be subscribed to my email list as well. That is important. And we needed to be talking. We need to be talking. A second here. We need to be talking about other topics. Okay, I'm going to have a problem here with those latest captions were very hard to read. Shouldn't be that way. Wait a second. I'm going to highlight your comments. Yeah, they will use the military, but meanwhile, it's not like you could make it that work easier. That would be the idea. That should be the idea. To make things easier, not harder, but I don't know. I have a bad feeling about this. But now we need to talk about the ripples, those ripples that we were talking about. Here. So we were talking about how Donald Trump is already advising everybody that he's going to, with the mass deportation through a national emergency mandate, and he's going to use military assets to fly all the people that has to be flown outside of the country and moved outside of the country in every way possible. But the interesting part is the reactions that you can see all over the world, not only in terms of immigration, but what happened with this video is something that is strange. Trudeau talking about curbing immigration in Canada. After decades of demonizing Canadians for suggesting lowering immigration, a clearly desperate Trudeau lowers immigration. Let's hear the guy for himself.
Immigration. Let's talk about it. In the last 2 years, our population has grown really fast, like baby boom fast. And increasingly, bad actors like fake colleges and big chain corporations have been exploiting our immigration system for their own interests.
All right, so they are bad actors who have been exploiting Canada's immigration system. All right, fair enough. In which way have they been exploiting that immigration system? I want to take a look at what are the it was so fast. Fines issued for abusing Canada's foreign labor program rise. Temporary foreign worker program sees 68% jump in approval. I want to ask you a very easy question. How is this something bad? How is this something bad? This should be good, right? This must mean that there are jobs for those foreign workers and by extension for everybody, right? And if the Canadian government allows them in, then the companies inside Canada could take advantage of that. But as the Canadian government, those who are letting them in, they are approving those work visas. So I don't know why would Trudeau say that, oh, they are weaponizing this, they are taking advantage of this, when it is the Canadian government, the one in charge
our immigration system for their own interests. So we're doing something major. We're reducing the numbers of immigrants that will come to Canada for the next 3 years.
Okay, that is just brilliant. Since all these companies are exploiting our system, we're going to reduce the amount of immigrants. It sounds like he's coming with a great idea, right? You know those cartoons when you have this this leader and he wants an idea, and you have this henchman that has the idea that he needs, and he says that no, but I come with a better idea, and he says what the henchman said. Well, this is pretty much it. Oh, I came up with a brilliant idea. What about curbing immigration in Canada? Yeah, this is peak narcissism. He knows he has to do this. He knows that this is correct way to do. This is the same thing to do to stop the insanity. I'm quite redundant in there. But he has to make it seem like he came with this brilliant idea all by himself. This is next level narcissism. This is next level narcissism. But at least, okay, he's taking credit for it. He's coming up with this plan, this brilliant plan to curb the exploitation of the immigration system. But at least, it's like with the nuclear plants. Maybe they are doing it for the wrong reasons. Maybe the wrong actors are pushing for this. But maybe that would be a good thing in the end, even through narcissism, greed, and God knows what other things.
Today, I'm going to let you in on what happened, where we made some mistakes, and why we're taking this big turn.
Of course, he's going to say where we made some mistakes. He will never say when I made some mistake. He will never acknowledge that totally. And there was a very, very, very concerning interview with Nigel Farage. And Farage refuses to speak against Islam and why he made Mohammedan his party chairman. He has no faith in the English. We will lose. We will lose. He said, this is a clip. We're going to see two clips that they seem that they are, against each other, like they contradict each other. But I will try to explain what Farage is doing. Here goes the first clip.
But the nub of it is...
Where are the captions here? I thought there was... I thought this was captions. I know that. Oh, yeah, you have automatic captions. Okay, I'm gonna go with that. Right, it's very easy.
But the nub of it is, we have a Muslim population in Britain growing by about 75% every 10 years.
Every 10 years, the Muslim population in the UK grows by 75%. Let that sink in. That's quite the number.
Right, that's just where we are. If we politically alienate the whole of Islam, we will lose.
Okay, he's saying that he cannot politically, he made sure to say that word, politically alienate Islam, they will lose. Okay, Reform Party will lose. I already analyzed that video when he was adamantly against mass deportations. Okay, we need to be very clear about that. But we need to watch the following clip as well. But let's finish this one.
We'll lose.
So how does one include
We
them?
will lose. By 2050, goodness knows what kind of a terrible state we're going to be in.
We're going to lose. But just to be clear, he's not saying that they will lose the country. I hope that he's not talking about the country. He is talking about the politics. I hope so. You know that this is not really taken out of context. He means that. He says that he cannot, Reform Party cannot just alienate the Muslim population. And the growth of the Muslim population, there you have it. But what about deporting people? What about deporting people? This is the other clip. I believe that this was captions. Nigel Farage makes it clear he would deport 1.2 illegal migrants in the mass deportation scheme. How many will be 1.2 illegal migrants and for how long? We don't know that, but let's see what is his opinion on this.
This 1.2 million say is the idea that they're not given amnesty and they decide eventually to leave on their own volition.
You cannot give them amnesty. You cannot give them amnesty.
You cannot give them amnesty to this 1.2 million migrants. We don't know exactly why. Let's see if he says that afterwards.
To do that is an insult to those who want to come legally and pay their money and get passports and swear oaths.
So we don't do anything about them. We just let them
I
leave.
didn't suggest that for a moment.
But maybe he's talking only about the illegals. Well, that's quite a change from the last time he spoke. Oh, right, because the last time he spoke, that was before Donald Trump won the elections. Notice that.
So you cannot give them an amnesty, and yes, we must be deporting people who come illegally.
And, well, you also see his body language is hunching when he says that. He doesn't feel very comfortable saying that.
Especially those who committed crimes.
That's when he opens up his body language, and especially those who commit crimes. I would say that those will be the logical thing to do. Why isn't the government doing it right? Oh, right, Starmer. We need to talk about Starmer later.
Or who refuse, point blank refuse, to integrate in our communities. Not an easy job. Long-term job. Will take a long time.
How do we know whether they're point blank refusing to integrate? What would that look like?
Well, if you've been here 10 years and can't speak a word of English, you might not have tried very hard.
Well, this is something that, the English speaking English. This is something that I really I thought that was a given. In fact, I was shocked to learn that the United States English is not really an official language. Like the United States doesn't have an official language, and of course, it's not English. And I find it baffling that you can actually become a citizen of the United States and you don't really need to know how to speak English. That's something I really don't understand. I mean, I'm not complaining, right? Because when I had not that much knowledge of English, I could go anywhere in the United States and everybody spoke Spanish in there. I would not complain, but I find it, in many countries of Europe, you have to pass proficiency test of the language. Okay, if you're gonna become a citizen of Switzerland, you have to learn the languages, which is Swiss Deutsch, right? It's not German. It's this variation of German. That is the common sense thing to do. But again, if you don't go for the bare minimum, which is learning English, well, it is to be fair, I would say let's say that we could compromise. Let's say that we can compromise. If you are a law-abiding citizen, if you pay your taxes, and I think that's it, because you work, you pay your taxes, you obey the law. I think that should be enough. Well, it's only that it complicates a bit things in the day-to-day operations of the country if you don't speak the country's language. So maybe that is something that could be near in fifth or sixth place. Maybe that is not urgent. I think Farage mentioned the language thing because that was a non-contentious issue. The contentious issue is if you commit a crime, you're out. It's that simple. And if you try to enter the country illegally, you simply cannot enter. That is the other thing. But this is a sad reality of countries right now. They don't know what to do. Oh my God, Donald Trump won the elections, so Trudeau has to backtrack and just curb immigration. Farage changed his stance on mass deportations. That is nice. It's like it stopped being a taboo topic. We're gonna see this evolving. Again, I would like to know what do you think about this in the comments. And moving on to our next topic, this is strange. I did not have prepare an actual topic to the captions. It was something that I should have prepared beforehand. I'm going to do it right now. A couple of things that I want to show you before I'm going to make sure that we have nice captions. Yeah, it's nice. In fact, it's nice. I think I haven't been to any country in the world that I always find someone who speaks Spanish. That's never been a problem. And knowing Spanish and English can get you far. Except in Japan, you should learn a bit of Japanese in Japan. So what happens? Let's see. Okay, let's continue. And we need to talk about the media, because it's not only world leaders that are changing their rhetoric. It's not only world leaders that are changing their stance on things like immigration now that Donald Trump has won. No, we're talking about the media, that they are, teddy bears saying that, oh yeah, we always loved Trump, and this too. The Morning Joe host, Micah Brzezinski, and this other guy, I remember, I forgot his name. They were invited to Mar-a-Lago after, you know that they call Trump a Nazi so many times, and maybe not directly or indirectly, but people are asking, why is Trump spending time with these people? And why do these people saying that, well, he's a fascist and all this stuff are going to Mar-a-Lago? We didn't see eye to eye on a lot of issues, and we told him so. What we did agree on was to restart communication. Yeah, because they want to, keep their jobs and keep their audience. This is the biggest conflict of interest, in which that they are not true journalists. That's why the mainstream media is literally dying. We are the media now. This is the media now. MSNBC's Morning Joe host revealed they visited Mar-a-Lago to talk with Donald Trump over the weekend. This is an odd thing to do with a fascist dictator, no? And let's see what they have to say about this.
Over the past week, Joe and I have heard from so many people, from political leaders to regular citizens, deeply dismayed by several of President-elect Trump's cabinet selections, and they are scared.
Okay, yeah, because, it seems that this time is for real. Like 2016 was a rehearse, was practicing, and this time the swamp draining is for real.
Last Thursday, we expressed our own concerns on this broadcast and even said we would appreciate the opportunity to speak with the president-elect himself. On Friday, we were given the opportunity to do just that. Joe and I went to Mar-a-Lago to meet personally with President-elect Trump. It was the first time we have seen him in 7 years.
All right, so it is nice. Trump invited them, and they accepted, and they went there. And they knew that they had to go there because the numbers don't lie. Your media is dying, and you have to do something. But at the same time, I would say that this is a nice gesture from Trump, in the sense that Trump knows, unironically, that, for example, when he said that Kamala's campaign was 20 million in the red, it will be nice, people helping her, has to be said, not mocking Kamala's campaign, not mocking these journals. He knows that only through unity he can make America great again. Okay, this is not the time for retaliation. This is not the time for any of this. This is why so many people are believing that he's gonna pardon Hunter Biden. We don't know how will that go, but this is a nice start. But this is a way to see what level of snakes are this.
Now, we talked about a lot of issues, including abortion, mass deportation, threats of political retribution against political opponents, and media outlets. We talked about that a good.
And the media outlets, very important. He left that at the end to make it seem like it was not important, but that was the most important topic for them.
Good bit. And it's going to come as no surprise to anybody who watches this show, has watched it over the past year or over the past decade.
We just make memes about your show. We don't really watch it. Just to be clear about that.
That we didn't see eye to eye on a lot of issues, and we told him so.
What we did agree on was to restart communications. My father often spoke with world leaders with whom he and the United States profoundly disagreed.
Okay, I want to make a pause to just point out that this guy has, well, at some point right now, not right now, but at some point had like that shit-eating grin. Like, oh, yeah, that's such a hypocrite. It's something that you just cannot deny. They are trying to save their jobs, and it's fun to watch. It's like I think it was J.E. May, Duchess Marmalade, who said that, yeah, it was like a cat playing with a mouse.
And we told him so.
What we did agree on was to restart communications. My father often spoke with world leaders with whom he and the United States profoundly disagreed. That's a task shared by reporters and commentators alike. We had not spoken to President Trump since March of 2020, other than a personal call Joe made to Trump on the morning after the attempt on his life in Butler, Pennsylvania.
Okay, I want to show you. I want to move forward a bit quickly here, but I want to show you the way that 60 Minutes is presenting Trump's cabinet, and let's see if you can spot some kind of. Let's see if you can spot the pattern in here. It's very easy. It's very easy. Just pay attention.
The nominees are Senator Marco Rubio for Secretary of State, Pete Hegseth.
Well, Rubio went. It went well for Rubio.
To lead the 3 million people of the Department of Defense. He's a combat veteran, most recently a morning show host on Fox News with no government experience.
Okay, let's point that out because that is really important. Yeah, why don't we talk about the previous people on the job? I don't know. That would be interesting.
Former Congressman Matt Gaetz for Attorney General, in charge of law enforcement. Gaetz has been investigated by Republicans for alleged drug use and sex with a minor. Gaetz denies those allegations.
Okay, I would like to know, was there a trial or something? Why is he still in office? Maybe because the case was dismissed? I'm waiting for it. I'm waiting for it. I'm interested. I want to know. It's interesting that if they had something on him, it's like when people say that, oh, you're going to see the Epstein list is not going to be released because Donald Trump is in the list. And I would say, don't you think that if Donald J. Trump was in Epstein list, it would have been used against him long ago? And well, their tiny brains just explode at that moment. They glitch.
Former Congresswoman Tulsi Gabbard for Director of National Intelligence. She sought a pardon for Edward Snowden, who leaked U.S. secrets and now lives in Russia.
Okay, you're saying that like it's a bad thing. You remember what those secrets were about, right, Paul? You remember that?
And Robert Kennedy Jr. for Secretary of Health and Human Services.
This is going to be good.
A skeptic of vaccinations.
He is not a skeptic of vaccinations. He wants vaccines to be tested to make sure that they are safe in every step of the way, especially those administered to children.
It's up to the new Republican majority in the Senate to decide whether these nominees are equipped to represent the American.
Well, this is how the media is reacting. You know, this is casual fear. This is not unexpected. That's why we are here to call them out and make fun of them at the same time. That's what unites us in this journey. But again, as usual, this is regardless of CNN or MSNBC. I think that MSNBC is up for sale. Some of you were mentioning that in the live chat, by the way. That would be interesting. That would be interesting to see who is going to buy that, because it would be a great idea to make these platforms have so many viewers, have so much equipment, have the infrastructure to have actual journalists in there. And we're gonna see why there's not actual journalists in the next section. But first, I would like to know, what do you think about this in the comments? Those comments are so great. Remember that you can send super chats as well. Let me see how much time do we have left. Well, it has been really. I prefer these shows that are much better organized. That's always nice to have the tidbits, but today's show has been really smooth. I'm still trying to get the hang of it. Elon should buy MSNBC. I don't think he already has the greatest platform in the world. I could mention something about X, by the way, in a minute, if we have a bit of time. But it's time to understand why there's not actual journalism in the media, and it has to do with big pharma, and that is a lot of why Bobby Kennedy Jr. wants to remove any ads, any advertising of drugs from television, because this is a huge conflict of interest that is, let's say, dissuading these outlets from doing actual journalism. I'm going to show you this before. 1 dead and dozens infected in E. coli outbreak linked to organic carrots in U.S. It is, the timing of this is so wonderful. Why do you think we have headlines like this right now? And this is very fresh. This is November 17, 2024. You know, that sometimes we see news from many years ago, but this is really fresh, no pun intended, just because maybe pesticides are not that bad. Maybe pesticides can prevent that you don't die from E. coli with your organic produce. Well, it would be very simple. If you have consumed organic produce other times, you just have to do the same that you do with any other produce. You have to wash it thoroughly. That's it. That is important. That is part of eating fresh food, and especially organic carrots, for example. But this is made on purpose. This is created on purpose to create some kind of fear against, organic. No, you can die from organic and products because they don't have all this, chemicals that make them safer, because chemicals are good for you. You know where are they coming from? And this is, of course, you already know that, from The Guardian. I wouldn't like to mention The Guardian, but this is what we have. This is the real scheme of Big Pharma versus the media, and why there isn't real journalism. Why are there so many pharma ads on TV? Hint, it's not to sell drugs. A TV news president admitted to RFK Jr. that any host allowing him to speak negatively about Big Pharma on air would be fired, because this is where our advertisers are. Joe's dropped when former pharma insider Collie Means told Tucker Carlson on his show, the news ad spending from pharma is a public relations lobbying tactic, essentially to buy off the news. The media plays referee because they are funded on all levels. They are being essentially paid for. So let's watch this video. He explains. It's a very short video.
Network president told me that if one of his talk shows allowed me on the air, that he would fire the host. This person is a friend of mine. And I would have to fire the host because this is where our advertisers are. And if he lost an advertiser, it's a major catastrophe for the network. The press has effectively been neutralized. All you have to do is sit down and watch the 6 o'clock news on TV and see how many of those stories are bracketed by pharmaceutical ads. I was told by a network executive that during non-election years, during some months during non-election years, up to 70% of his news division revenues are coming from pharma.
70% of ad revenue of this network, 70% of revenue comes from Big Pharma. And you can see from, how he looks in that video that this was quite some time ago. Imagine if you take that away from these networks. These people are desperate. These people are desperate. They will have to start doing real journalism so they can attract the viewership that they lost and all the credibility that they lost because, for reasons that everybody saw in this election campaign, this election cycle, there's going to be that's gonna be a bloodbath. That is gonna be a bloodbath. And no, I'm not talking about the car manufacturing hoax. This is gonna be a bloodbath. That's why they are so afraid. What are the implications of this? There are only 2 countries in the world. I would like to know where are you watching from? Where are you watching from? If in your country you got ads on the TV, it's like maybe I remember back in Venezuela when I watched TV. Well, we're talking about like 30 years ago. I don't know if that changed. I essentially stopped watching TV a long time ago. But I remember that maybe you have some like the equivalent of Tylenol, and that's it. There's something for headaches, and that's it. But not, those drugs who have all those disclaimers on the bottom. But only the United States and New Zealand, to my understanding, have that kind of ads. South Africa as well, says Verge says that in Spain, no ads, no drug ads. I think in Spain it's really regulated. In Germany, they have also ads. Maybe has expanded. I thought the United States was exclusive of that. But in the United States, it's something that is baffling. Now, maybe in the sense of the amount of ads that you get from drugs for everything, like for everything that for any kind of problem you might have. This is not only headaches. And I can understand from a marketing perspective, I am not endorsing, but understanding that the tactic of these companies, these big pharma companies, is that you're watching TV and you see some kind of a drug for, I don't know, make your heart run better. And the next time you go to your heart surgeon, you actively ask for that drug that you saw on TV. Oh, and your doctor, your heart's doctor, maybe will be happy to oblige on what that brand that you're asking for. And we're talking about brands. Again, this is something that is so crazy on so many levels. Not to mention, well, the conflict of interests that if a physician gives you a drug or gives you a recipe for a drug, a prescription, prescription is the word, then they could have some kind of bonus for how many prescriptions they write on that drug, with that drug and those prescriptions. That is a huge conflict of interest. They will earn handsomely that way. Now, I don't know. That is obviously legal in the United States, but the thing that Bobby Kennedy Jr. wants to start with is the ads on TV. If you just curb in the ads on TV, you can just chop that hydra. You can chop one head and others bad. Chop that dragon's head, and then you at least can have these outlets doing real journalism, because it's the only thing that they will be able to do. Again, this is a topic. This is the kind of topics that begin to enter the realm of what YouTube doesn't like. So how much time do we got? And which time do we got? This is the kind of topic that YouTube doesn't like. And I've got trouble with the YouTube. So I want to test this today. We already had a great show. I want to make a really fun and a really packed show in 1 hour. But I want to talk about a couple things about, especially a bit about the trans issue, about some numbers. And I want to test today if we can just move this or limit. The right word is limit. This stream to X and Rumble. Some things I just cannot say on YouTube, and I really apologize for that. It's not my fault. I really have tried to tiptoe around those, but there's always this, no, you cannot talk about that here, not let alone Facebook. You know that I'm not on Facebook anymore. So right now I'm going to make the test. I'm going to do the test, and I'm going to finish the streaming on YouTube. But on YouTube, you can go to the description of this live stream and you will find the link to go to Rumble, and we will continue to Rumble. I will give you time. I will give you some time. I'm going to open up Rumble here, by the way. There's something I really, I would love to do my whole show on YouTube, but I want to talk about 15, maybe 10 minutes about this other topic, and I really want to maybe be unfiltered. Let's see, where's my content? Here. Unfiltered. Okay. I'm hearing myself here. All right. I'm gonna pop out the chat just to, because I don't think that I'm seeing your all right, so let's do this. I'm going to, if you cannot watch on Rumble, well, this is, I think, guys, this is goodbye for now. But if you can watch on Rumble or on X, then you can go to those platforms. Again, if for my lovely YouTube body language buddies, my name is Jesus Enrique Rosas. I'm the body language guy. And until we meet tomorrow on episode 23, remember the most important words: much love and bliss. Take care. I love every single one of you. And for all of you that can follow me on Rumble, let's go there to talk just 10 minutes. You just want to give 10 minutes to this topic. Let's go there.